Time doesn't exist, everything is now, and any change we make changes our timeline. In a session yesterday, my client quantum leaped mid session. Stick around to hear how it went down. My client had suffered loss of family members early in her life. She lost her father when she was in her teens, her brother 10 years later. And after her dad's passing, she had to take on a lot of responsibility, like running the entire house. And she was just in her teens. So we jumped into a past life, and the same pattern existed. She was an Arab girl named Amira. She lived with her father, and this is her current life father. And together they ran the house. They shared the household tasks, and her father wanted to educate her, so she was one of the few girls who was sent to school. When she turned 20, her father got her married to his friend's son. Immediately after marriage, her life changed. Her husband turned out to be a mama's boy, and her mother in law was extremely controlling. Her father in law could see what was happening but couldn't do anything to help, and her mother in law didn't allow her to meet her father. Her husband loved her deeply and did many things for her, and that triggered her mother in law because her husband didn't do any of those things for her. As we moved forward, tragedy struck. She had had a miscarriage. Her husband was killed. He was shot and his body was not found. Her father in law was also killed, and so was her father. It was only her mother in law and her. And she would taunt her all day, and she had to bear a lot of responsibility for her mother in law. She was contemplating unaliving herself. There seemed to be this pattern of heavy responsibility on her, so I just asked her higher self, take us to the moment where this pattern started. And we were there. It took us to another life where she was a young Buddhist monk, learning about karma and dharma, right from wrong. And again, her current life father was one of the senior teachers. And out here, she takes on a particularly heavy vow to help humanity. This just felt too much. So I asked her higher self to delete, cancel, release, and let go of any vows ever made across all lifetimes, dimensions, and realities, and to just accept love in her life. When I brought her back when I brought her back to a life as Amira, everything changed. She was in a different timeline. There was joy in her voice, and her face was beaming with happiness. The child she had miscarried was alive. He was a young 5 year old boy, her brother who had passed in her current life. Her husband was living with her and they were thriving. There was so much love. Her mother in law was kind to her and she was meeting her father often. This change was instant. Simply releasing any past life vows changed her timeline. She quantum leaped, and for the first time in her life, she had a full family and no self unaliving thoughts. As we went ahead in that life, her relationship with her husband blossomed. Her son grew to be a wonderful young man. Her in laws supported everything she did. Her husband's work was flourishing. So we moved forward, and her son was getting married. It was a grand wedding. The bride was beautiful. She is her current life cousin, and she got on fabulously with her daughter in law. And so we moved forward to when she was older and she had become a grandmother. And then she said she had asthma and pain in her knees. I thought this was curious because, from an emotional aspect, our knees are where we store fears, and asthma is the inability to enjoy life and love. So I asked her higher self why she had these health conditions, and the answer surprised me. My client is afraid to not that she will not live to enjoy good things in her life. In her current life, my client has a hereditary heart condition. Her father and brother passed suddenly from it. So we saw a few other lives where the same pattern of losing family has repeated, And she still has fears from that. She keeps wondering, when will my number come? Will I be able to enjoy this good life? So we cleared the fears, the guilt, the shame, and when we came back, she quantum leaped again. The knee pain was gone, the asthma was milder. Her higher self said it wanted to keep the asthma and would use it as an excuse to exit that life when ready. She had stored these fears in her heart, and it was the reason for the hereditary heart condition. So her higher self shared it would heal the heart condition, not completely, but it would never be an issue. I'm Savio, and I guide my clients to relevant past lives to heal their current one.